Yes, sir. Y'all know what time it is. Welcome to episode number 8 of
See,
What Happened Was. I am Gray. That is Rashad. And we're back once again to give it to you raw and uncut.
Yes.
Is and how it definitely was.
That's right. 2 siblings with something to say.
Yes, sir. Brothers from the same mother, lads from the same dad.
if you can't tell, I mean,
I know, right?
Vaseline, put some Vaseline in the mouth. I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know what to tell you.
I did get that question. Are y'all real brothers? Like, nah. Yeah, nah.
Nah.
Oh, nah. Yeah. Nah. Oh, man.
Today's episode
Yes.
is a special one because we are going to take an in-depth look as M.O.G. Rashad tells the story of his conversion from his time as a gangster rapper to where he is right now as a Christian artist.
Pat myself on the back. Yeah, I know a lot of a lot of people have asked that question. Why the change and everything like that, and I'm fixing to tell you. You know what I'm saying? So, where would we like to start? Matter of fact, let's get this. We got any news, anything we need to put out to the people first off.
Well, I'm gonna go and say this first. I usually save it for the end, but I'm gonna let y'all know once again, we are available on multiple platforms now. In addition to YouTube, we are also available on your audio podcasts. I think I mentioned last episode that we're on Apple Podcasts, we're on Spotify, we're on Google Podcasts. We are actually on Audible as well. And we are on iHeartRadio. So you don't have to just tune in to YouTube. You can stream us just like you stream any other podcast. We're out there. We're available. Check us out. And I definitely want to thank each and every one of you that has been supporting us through this journey. I mean, the feedback has been great. We're not one of those podcasts that's just going to pay for promotions and stuff like that. We are growing this thing organically.
Yes.
And we know that our podcast is for those who are just like us. We are in our 40s. We are 2 grown people who are talking about grown issues. We keep it light, but we also talk about things that are affecting us today and that are affecting our kids. So again, thank y'all for riding with us, and we're going to keep this thing going for as long as we can. As long as we are entertaining y'all, then we're doing our jobs.
That's right. I also want to thank y'all. A lot of feedback. Like, subscribe. I understand a lot of people, they get kind of lazy. They don't want to do it, but we're asking y'all like, subscribe, do all of that. But we're getting, it's a lot of things that are going on, a lot of attention, and we're going to keep doing it. We're going to definitely keep doing it. But with that being said, getting to the story of my conversion, why I changed, so First off, it was more so me growing up, the way I grew up. It just caused a lot of issues for me, a lot of mental issues and things. And I like to say that's when the door was open. You know, the enemy crept in. You know what I'm saying? The devil crept in and really started, you know, messing with my mind and things like that. And you just really didn't know who to turn to. Now, I do come from a praying family. You know, pops is pastor. My grandma know the word, other grandma know the word, uncles, all of that stuff. So it's been there, but it was just a lot of things that I did not understand. So fast forwarding to the day, well, when we moved to California, way after Dre had left, it was sixth grade. Uh, I got with this group, and we in the sixth grade, but we were really like we were talking some crazy stuff, and that group was called the 187 Life. And everybody knows what 187 is. Go look it up. You know what I mean? Murder, death, kill, whatever you want to call it. But we were at first it was four of us. It was myself, they called me AWAC, another wicked blank killer. We had Mr. Wish, Death Wish. We had C Play, and we had another cat by the name of P Rod. Now, P Rod was so caught up in the streets, they basically like fizzled him out of the group. So it's just the three of us. And we were youngsters. We were like sixth grade, sixth, seventh grade, like really talking some violent stuff because we've all come from a bad upbringing and then being caught in the Dago streets. Dago was a rough place. You know what I'm saying? It was one of those things like you either have to jump with this crew or jump with that crew, or the crew is gonna get you basically. So what we did was we just got together. And anybody crossed our way, I mean, even at a young age, that's your fault. You know what I'm saying? So it came just to a point where we were just like, man, we want to do this music thing because we looked at music as a way out. We looked at gangster rap music as a way out.
Yeah.
It wasn't really, it wasn't as saturated as it is nowadays. Everybody's doing music now. But then we were cutting demo tapes. We were kids, man, cutting demo tapes. And I remember our first demo tape we cut, we sent it to Ruthless Records, who was run by a guy named Easy E. We would just sit. This is when you could just send out demo tapes.
Yeah.
When you could just walk up to the record labels and just say, hey, check this out. We sent them a demo tape and a tape. A tape. It wasn't a CD, it was a tape. We sent them a demo tape and we got a response back. And a lot of people don't know we actually got a response back from Ruthless Records.
Wow.
And basically what they told us was like, you guys are dope. You guys are tight. Really love y'all, but y'all are too young. This is before they were kid rappers. You know what I'm saying? Like I really don't know. Do we know who the first was? I really don't know, but it was before they were kid rappers. Now what they told us was like when we got older to come back, send them another demo tape when we get older because yeah, we were just too young. Like I said, sixth, seventh grade. We never got that chance because of course Easy E ended up passing away.
Mhm.
So it was one of those things that it was just like, man, we just gonna uh, go over to Death Wish House, and we would record over there on some primitive stuff. Sometimes we had a karaoke machine. We were recording things like that. Fast forwarding, it got to a point to where we were starting just to get a little defeated.
Mhm.
The last things was a backup. We started really learning the business, like publishing, copyrights, things like that. And I learned all of that stuff from Def, who really taught all of us the game, for copyrights and things of that nature. We ended up putting a demo tape together for Who Banging Records with Mac 10. And one of the A&Rs, he would always contact us like, man, y'all got some stuff. And we would send him some stuff and we would bug him every day. Hey, this is like when the record had the phone numbers on the back of it. They had
Hmm.
phone numbers you can call the studios and things like that. But it just went on and on and on. And the guy would be like, "Yeah, we want to get y'all here for a showcase and blah 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 blah." And it just never happened because Who Bang It ended up fizzling out
One belly up. Yeah.
and going out of business. But I really felt honestly that me doing that kind of music, it wasn't right. Like it was a lot of it's just demonic. Let's just call it what it is. And I'm only using my story. This is me. And it was a lot of just turmoil and voices and just total darkness that I was going through because everything that was going on in my lifetime
Yeah.
with like, son and just the drama that was going on in my life. And it really pushed me to really become what I was rapping about to the point where, let's just be honest, it was like a split personality.
Yeah.
It scared me. It was Rashad versus AWAC. And I would tell anybody, AWAC was that entity. It was that spirit that was controlling me. It was like the uh, Bruce Banner effect. You got Bruce, you got the Hulk.
The Hulk.
That's kind of what it was. AWAC was the one that liked to smoke weed. He liked to smoke cigars. He liked to drink. He liked to just do all kind of stuff. But this other side of me was just trying to fight all of that. But to be honest, sometimes I would just let that have its way. And I know it's shocking to a lot of people, but I'm just telling you what it is. It's just what it was. That was a spirit. It was an entity. And when you hear this stuff, it is really, really true because that was not who I was. That's what I became. So AWAC was just he wasn't a good dude. That was just a part of me that liked to, like I said, get into trouble, like to fight, like to cause drama, like to be out here and out there, just like running the streets. Like it was a time where I would carry, I carried a little piece on me, Glock 40, and money, and I would just dare somebody to approach me. I,
Hmm.
I, I really dare somebody. But I was actually itching for somebody to like. I dare you to try to take what I got, and I'm gonna do you in. And let's just be honest, that's just what it was. There's been incidents, I won't speak about, but that was a really, really scary time in my life. But I kept hearing this call that was like, this is not you. This is not what I called you to be. You know what I'm saying? I need you to be over here, but it was just a fight.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There was times doing, just being out when I started my record label, Wicked Way Records, because I got tired of the record labels. Like, record labels want so much and they want to give you so little. And I just got to the point, it's like, I do this myself. You know what I'm saying? Had a few artists on the label that didn't work out because a lot of these artists, young, want things so fast. And I kept telling them it
Right.
doesn't happen that way. Music takes time. You never know how long, when you see somebody that gets on, you don't know how long they've been doing music.
Right.
It was like years before anybody noticed what I was doing. So just feeling real, real low about myself. And it came a time where, I mean, literally, I remember sitting in the room and I had, just money, had a place to stay, car, I was doing good for myself. But when that thing came to cash in, it came to cash in. And I remember I was so depressed, sitting on the edge of the bed with my pistol, about to blow my brains out because I felt so just done and defeated and gone.
Mm.
And I remember I chambered, Put it up to my head, and the gun didn't go off.
Mm.
Block 40. It only takes a few pounds of force, not very much. But I remember calling out to God saying, I need your help. I really, really need your help. I'm going down the wrong path. It was like even people that knew me that would be like, this ain't you. Like, what is going on? It's like, you don't really understand. Like, I'm losing it. I'm losing my mind. And that's why I would smoke weed. I would drink, just to try to, you know, kill that pain.
So
But
how
go
how
ahead.
old? Not to cut you off. How old were you at this time?
This time I was early 20s. I had to be about 22, 23 is when it really started to get out of control for me.
Mm.
When I really started to just trip out. Because all through my teens, it was like I get them up with anybody. It was the same thing when I was in Job Corps. A lot of people know me back in Job Corps, knew I was a little, I was a few tacos short of a plate. You dig?
Mhm.
Elevator just didn't go all the way up to the top, which is why it was almost like, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. It was like, I don't know what was going on with me, but the type of music that I was putting out was just pure evil. And I remember uh before there was Facebook, MySpace.
Yes.
And I remember I had a song on MySpace, and that song it was called Don't Blank with Wax. Can't say that word. But it, I put up there, I remember saying, influences, God and my Lord Savior Jesus. Oxymoron, complete. You know what I'm saying? It
Yeah.
was like it doesn't match. But I remember a young lady. She hit me up and she said, it's funny how you say that your influence is God and Jesus, and yet you talk like that. She's like, that don't even match. Now I remember I replied back to her in the most messed up way that I know I can talk to somebody. But the thing about it was she was correct. She was right, which is what really started to turn the tide of me battling. I need to go a different direction.
Hmm.
And like I said, when that gun didn't go off, I remember just calling out, repenting, yelling, like, I need help. I need you to fix this because I don't know what's going to go on. And the crazy thing about it was that night I had a dream that seemed so real. And I was laying down, and this thing came in with a cloak on, all white cloak, but I couldn't see the face. And it seemed so real. And I looked, and it just reached his hand out to me. And I'm thinking this was like an angel or something. But Bible tells us that, you know, devil himself can parade around like an angel of light. You know what I'm saying? And I remember before I went to sleep, I anointed myself with oil. This thing came to me, and it went and put its hand on my head, pulled it back, and ran.
Wow.
And I remember getting up, and I looked, and it ran to the door, and it stopped at the door, went to the window, jumped out the window, and jumped into the pool that we had right out there. Now I'm seeing this in a dream, but it seems so real, so real. And I remember this thing screaming in agonizing pain while it was
Hmm.
drowning in this pool. And I know that the Lord was sending me a clear message that He wanted me to, do music for Him. You know what I'm saying? And that's what started me changing over. And it was a hard change. It wasn't easy because um, a lot of those things were just still in my face. You know, people, money, things like that. But I would tell you, when I actually gave up and I said, "This is it," I can't tell you where all the money went. The cars broke down. The place got broken into. Everything I bought with dirty money was gone. like the Lord completely reset everything that was going on in my life at that time, you know.
Mm.
So just imagine it being at that age and it's like, man, did I make the right decision? You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? You mean I gotta really like start living my life right? But yeah, man, it was wild. But the journey to gospel rap music, it was a hard one because I was still trying to do this stuff on my own, trying to do it myself
Yeah.
without letting the Lord do it for me. And people got to understand, we have to wait on the Lord. We have to wait. Okay. We want everything now, 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 now. And that was my problem. I didn't know how to wait. I kept doing things on my own, which brings me to the first time where I started rapping under M.O.G. Murvin. Being I got that name because I remember I was being at work and I was mad at God. I was like, the money's gone and this and that. And what do you want me to do? And I remember I called you that same night. I called you that same night. It was like, I think midnight, it had to be 3 o'clock. You may not remember this. And I said, you know what? God spoke to me and he gave me a new name.
I remember.
Yeah, you remember that?
Yeah.
Gave me a new name. He said, from now on, you are known as M.O.G. And I said, what is M.O.G? He said, man of God. And I remember researching it, and there was a lot of M.O.Gs. It was like men of God, messenger of God, and a bunch of stuff. And I said, well, there's already M.O.Gs out there. But he said, but your last name is Murvin. M.O.G. Murvin, which separates me from all other M.O.Gs out there.
Yeah.
And that's what we went with. And that was like the beginning of like, let's do it. But it was a hard run because a lot of the old residue was still there. It was really still hard to get away from what I knew.
Yeah.
Because then you got people telling, "Oh, man, it used to be hard, man. I used to do this, you used to do that. Your whole thing was just like on fire. But now you want to go follow God." And I got ridiculed. You know what I'm saying? But the thing about it is I didn't care. I was like, I have to do this for me. I
Yeah.
have to do this. You know what I mean? So yeah, man. It pushed on. I actually found a studio, Griffdale Records. That was my first actual record deal that I got was with John Griff. And the crazy part about that is it's like almost like God wanted me to get the experience over there, but he didn't want me to sign over there. And I
Mm.
tell you the craziest thing that happened. And we would be at the studio. Sometimes it was nice. We would just talk all night about the Lord. He was a Catholic dude. So a lot of things I was saying, he didn't know nothing about.
Hmm.
But before we could really get the album finished, because I was doing a lot of mixtape stuff, like, taking the popular songs and putting the words to it, which actually it was like one of those things like where the Lord was like, that's not what I want you to do.
Right.
Because I like to take back in the Bible, it says you can't put new wine in the old
And wines. Mhm. Right.
old skin, right?
Yeah.
So I kind of look at that as the music. Like, why am I taking this beat that's already tainted with words, taking the words out and putting these new godly words on this beat? Because the only thing you hear is what it was.
What it was exactly.
So if I take Tupac, hit him up, take the words out, as soon as that come on, doom, 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 what you gonna hear? All you gonna hear is Tupac. You're not gonna hear what I'm saying. So it's like that is just gonna burst. It ain't gonna hold. So why would I put new wine in an old skin? It just doesn't work. And I know some people think, well, it ain't the beat. Go back. Y'all need to go back and do your research and really sit with the Lord and let Him minister to you about this thing called music. Then you'll really understand.
Yeah.
But we just really couldn't get music going. We had a falling out, me and this guy. And me being young, um, I was on what that platform, MySpace, and I was talking reckless. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? I was like, man, forget this, forget that. And I was this because I was just like hurt. You know what I'm saying? And we actually, years later, reconciled. And he said, you know what? Come back to the studio. Let's finish that gospel rap album. And I said, cool. I will see you in a week. That man passed away that same week.
Mm, mm.
And I was completely devastated, you know. But it was almost like God was saying, this is not what I want for you. And God knew that this man's time was short, which is why he did not allow me to really start recording over there. And
That
I was, go ahead.
he gave you some time to get it together before,
Yes.
get it right with him before he passed. So
Before he passed. And I was like I was the one that actually led him to the Lord
mm,
before he passed. And I know that was God's planning on everything like that, you know. So yeah, man, that really started a big change in me. I got back into church. I got back into praying and like, Lord, you got to drive this ship because I just don't know what to do. Like you took all my resources away. You know what I'm saying? And I ended up working a job, and I met this lady who she found out I rap, and I'm not gonna mention their name because they're not gonna get the satisfaction of me putting that out there. But her
yeah,
boyfriend, which was in jail, who was getting out of jail in a few weeks, who had a studio, so they wanted to sign me, which it was honestly it was just kind of stupid that you got a gospel rap artist on this secular, what we call it, label, and everybody on the label is rapping and cussing and fussing, and then yet you got this godly dude on there. It
right.
looked real. It looked real stupid, but it was just me being. I was desperate, so instead of waiting on the Lord, I just do this myself. And the Lord, He just kept, okay, go right ahead. You're gonna bump your head. And I remember you were one of them. You were like, that is cool, but it doesn't look right. There's another cat, my buddy Al. Was it Al? It was my buddy Al who said, hey man, like, I don't know. I don't think you need to be on that label. And I'm just like, man, I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna use it for what it is, get what I can get out of it. And that's just gonna be it. But it wasn't it, man. Being on that label was just so annoying. And I knew I shouldn't have signed that contract,
Yeah.
but I signed it. You know what I'm saying? And we started recording, we started getting things together, but it just didn't feel right, man. Like it just didn't feel right. So I'm thankful that it didn't really go any further. Like the album was never completed, but I did have songs on this label. And then the things started changing once I started getting merchandise, once I started getting a website, and everything started moving in my favor, and they started getting upset, which is why they wanted like, oh, well, you need to put our logo on your website. And I'm like, I ain't doing that. Oh, we need to get a cut of your clothes. Yeah, I'm not doing that. You know what I'm saying? And I did. I read the contract, and when it all went sour, when I told them I was leaving, they was like, okay, well, you owe. I think it was like $5,000, something like that. They said I owed them, and I was like, for what reason? He said, oh, well, for studio time and the beats. So I said, okay, cool. Give me a price tag. And when they said that, I was like, I ain't paying you for that. So the cold part about it was, I remember reading this contract, and somehow in the contract it said that the studio or the record label would pay for all studio time. I don't remember reading this. But
Mhm.
when I put that to them, they were talking about suing me. When I put it to them, they saw it was just like dumbfounded, and I was like, so yeah, here's my walking papers. But the crazy part about that was they kept all the original recordings. They wouldn't give it back to me. But those are like what I like to call throwaways. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? They weren't finished.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, God, you gotta, if this is what you want me to do, you gotta help me out. I remember dropping my daughter off and I'm driving home and this truck passed by, got in front of me on the freeway. It said RDR Studios. And it said, I remember the Lord said, call that number. I wrote it down real quick, got home. I remember calling this number and I said, hey, I just saw your truck. I'm a gospel rap artist. I just left my record label. I got a little money, but I need to start, working on my album. It's okay, cool, man. This cool dude, Daniel Dagnott. That
Yeah.
Daniel Dagnott is, you know what? Daniel Dagnott is my boy forever. So what Daniel did, he said, hey man, come down to the studio. We can talk. Daniel he's a cool dude. Very, very calm. I came down to the studio, told him what my situation was, and we started working. We started working like that next week. And I told him, I said, the problem is the label won't release any of my music. They kept it all. They basically trying to destroy me. Daniel was like, do you have anything? I said, yeah, I got some stuff that I was working on. It's not finished. He was like, hey, man, I'm a musician. I can recreate everything.
Mm.
I was like, what you mean you can recreate it? So the beautiful thing about that album was it was 100% recreated. He played the guitar, he played the drums, any of the keys. He did all of that from scratch.
Wow.
I already had the words, I just didn't have the sound. He
Yeah.
recreated everything. And it came to a point in time where I was in between jobs and I ran out of money. And I just remember telling him, I said, hey, you know what? I don't have any more money to pay you. And this is how God works. I said, I don't have any more money to pay you when I get my money up because they still owe me money at the label. They didn't give it to me. When I get my money up, I'll pay you, And he's like, okay, cool. Just come back when you're ready. This dude called me the very next day and he said, hey, man, something weird happened last night. And he said, can you come to the studio and, we can talk about it? And I was like, oh, yeah, cool. I get up, go to the studio. He said, hey, the weirdest thing, he said, I was in the studio mixing whatever project he was going on. He said, and I heard this voice say that I need to give you free studio time, mix and master everything for you for free, do
Wow.
everything for you for free. He says, I've never felt this way. He said, I went and told my wife, and he said, my wife said, if that's what you heard, then that's what you better do. And man, I was so thankful. I was so thankful to the Lord Jesus Christ. I can't even, it's like, even to this day, it's just hard to contain that the Lord is just so good like that because the
Yeah.
Lord wanted this project out.
Yep.
We went in, boom, boom, banged it out. We had a great time sharing the love of the Lord with him. And 2012 in October, we released First Timothy 6, 11 through 12. And that album to this day is still pulling numbers. We talking what, 10 years?
10 years later.
10 years later, and that album is still producing, which is so crazy. Like one of the songs, Restless, is one of the hot songs on TikTok right now.
Wow.
I didn't know that. I checked the CD Baby account and all I saw was TikTok, TikTok, TikTok. I'm like, whoa. Like it's crazy that it's just still being discovered,
Yeah.
still being discovered. I know, like, for all y'all out there, I bounced around a little bit. Y'all can go to my website, M.O.G Murvin Music, and check out everything. But we had a good time putting that album together in the name of the Lord. We put out some other songs and things like that. A lot of people want to know, like, why I kind of slowed down. And the reason is because I stopped to focus on a lot of legal things that I had to take care of concerning music,
Hmm.
learning more of the business. Also, I started to get to the point where people were just trying to use me. And I got tired of that. From churches to artists,
Yep.
everything. It's like it gets annoying. So, perfect example. because people knew me or they watched me come up or whatever the case was, it was always like, oh, well, I know M.O.G. Murvin. I'm going to holler at him. Hey, can you come here and do this? Yeah, I might do it once, might do it twice. But that third time, it's like, all right, we got to start talking. You know what I'm saying? Like, I need gas, all that type of
Yeah.
stuff.
Yep.
But it was kind of ironic how they would call for like other pastors and things, pay for their flight, pay for their room and board, and all this and this and this and that. But when it came to the gospel rap artists, everybody want to do it for free.
Yeah.
And then when I really got my business together, when I really put together J Murvin Records, okay, now we need paperwork on everything. And that's where the tide turned.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted to deal with my paperwork. Oh, yeah, I'll come to your event, this and this and that. Where can I send the contract?
Right.
Everybody gets quiet. It's crickets. Is the same thing with some of the artists. A lot of the artists were just like, oh, let me get on this track, let me get on that track, let me get on this track. But it's like, man, let me get on your track. You
Exactly.
know what I'm saying? Well, why you always want to get on my track? And I understand because I was one of the only ones really moving. If I said a song was coming out, it was coming out. I knew what I was talking about. I knew what I was doing. So everybody wanted to basically ride my coattail, if I could say that.
Of
They
course.
wanted to be a part of what M.O.G. Murvin was doing.
Yeah.
And I got tired of that. I really got tired of it. I got tired of being used. I got tired of being used by different churches and things like that. And I remember one church, they called me out. I went to the event. Before I even got there, they said, this is what we're going to offer you. Cool. When I got there, I said, I'm ready to do the thing. They said, all right, here you go. They gave me an envelope with a check in. And I was just kind of like, I ain't never seen that before. Everybody else wants to use you, but
Yeah.
they were like, no, this is how we doing it. We
Yeah.
called you out, and they gave me a check, you know what I'm saying? And it wasn't that they were paying me to do this, they were paying for my time,
Right.
pay a man his wage. That's all we ask for. If they gonna have some, body from out of town come out and they're paying for all of this when it comes to the music artists, why can't we get the same thing? Just
Right.
because you know me, that should, if you know me, then you should want to do right by me.
Right.
That's the way it should go. But
Right.
that's why I really backed away. And I haven't been getting too many things because they're like, it's like, man, he too much into his business. It's too much business. Exactly. Because nobody's gonna do something without conducting business first.
Right.
I don't care if that's even in the church. It's business,
Yep.
you know. So, lights aren't free, studio time isn't free, gas isn't free. It's like, why don't you want to pay for that type of stuff? But that's the reason why I stepped back. But I felt so much better when I turned my life around versus being paranoid every day. Who's gonna come after me or whatever. Not that anybody was after me, but that's the way the devil make you think
Right.
that people are after you, which is why I carried a gun, and just being reckless with my life. But yeah, man, that's kind of like where it started, and even now, it's going. I'm getting back into it. I'm revamping a lot of things, finishing up the next album, doing all of that type of stuff because now I know a lot more of the business. I know a lot more of the legal things. And when I decided to do this independently, it worked out better for me. So
Yeah.
now I don't have to track nobody down for my money or track anybody down for this sound or that sound. Everything is just so independent. It comes to me. I'm the boss. I say what's gonna happen, what's not gonna happen. I own everything, all my master, all of that stuff. It's me. It's nobody else because
That's
it's
what I'm
hard to
saying.
trust other people. So
Yeah.
I know that was a lot to digest, but
Hey,
it's a lot of stuff.
yeah, that it's your story,
Yeah,
and it's definitely one of them things where people can learn from it. I mean, not just even the music business, but in life, period.
yeah,
If you're going to do business with somebody, then you need to do it the right way. And see, especially like when it comes to us, our folks, a lot of the times People will see you and say, "Oh yeah, can you do this? Can you do this for me? Can you? Oh, well, so what you gonna pay? Why I gotta pay for it? What? Well, you gonna pay for somebody else stuff,
Yeah.
you know? Why can't you pay for mine? It's like you're providing a service,
Hmm.
and if and somebody else is providing that same service, you're gonna pay for that. So why can't you pay for our services?
Yeah.
You know, it's all across the board. It's professionalism.
Yes.
No, you got to give people that equal courtesy, yeah, if you will. You know?
And it, and just saying, oh, we doing this for the Lord only goes so far.
Right,
Okay. Because you can
right.
go in and search, you can go in and search the Bible and look at what happened a lot of times when the Lord pulled up into a place. People were giving him things.
Yep,
People were taking care of his ministry, doing
yep,
things like that. It's like the same thing. We're
yep.
just asking for the same thing. And me running a record business, it comes along with it. I
Right,
mean, there's been artists that were like, "Oh, Mo, I want to get you on the track. All right, where can I send the contracts?" Contracts? Yeah, contracts. Where can I send the contracts? Because this is not free. Now, granted, there are guys, that I don't mind, like artists like KD out of Chicago. Whenever he hit me up, yo, I need a verse, bro. I got you because he's poured into my life so much.
right,
You know what I'm
right.
saying? He's poured into my life so much, and vice versa. Like when he did the song with me, thought he had me. He was just like, "Yo, bro, I got you." You know what I'm saying? I was like, "All right, cool. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make sure you get your publishing. I'm gonna make sure you get some points on this record." You know what I'm saying? So whenever the song is played, he gets a percentage, I get a percentage. That's how it's supposed to be.
That's right.
But where people like to take advantage. I mean, there's been a few churches that they just want to take advantage of what you got. And you know what? It's crazy because somebody put on Facebook earlier and they said, don't allow anyone to pimp your gift. And I had to give that one
Yeah,
because that's what was happening to me.
yep,
It was just like I don't care if you know me from knee high to grasshopper. It's you still we got to conduct business.
yep.
You know what I'm saying? And even with gospel artists, it's the same thing. Like I'm not gonna have any artist do anything for free. I'm not gonna have anybody do anything for free. Now, if they tell me, "Oh, nah, I know it's no charge," cool. But I'm not gonna say, "Oh, well, man, just do it for me." That's just not how this works. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So, with that being said, that it just really started to annoy me, man. Even the artists in the city and other cities that were just like, I'm not saying I was like, oh, I'm the hottest out there, but my name was really getting around and buzzing because people saw me moving. They see the music video, they see everything out there, and they just wanted to ride along with that. Which brings me to even with the music videos and how God put the person in my direction for the music videos, a guy by the name of M. Lee out of Dago. I mean, this this dude, he was hot doing his music videos. And I remember a friend of mine from school had hit me up and was like, "Yeah, I think it was her roommate or something." Said the roommate's cousin does videos. And I said, "Okay, well, introduce me." So I met this dude and coolest dude ever. And we actually shot the first music video. My first music video ever was called I'm Here.
Hmm.
And I think he shot that. And, I was like, oh, just, what's your charge? He didn't charge me that much, but the dude was so professional. And everything that was in my mind, I told him about it and he made it happen. You know, he made it happen. And we made a few videos together up until the time where I started letting baby girl do my music videos. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But Yeah,
That's awesome
yeah,
right there. You
yeah.
know,
That's another story all in itself, right there.
yes, yeah.
Yeah,
And for those of you who have seen the videos, especially the ones of recent,
yeah.
how old was
Stepping
she?
Stone, uh, Stepping Stone, and something else. It was Stepping Stone, Speak with You, and there's another video that she did, and I remember her saying, she said, "Dad, can I shoot one of your music videos?" And I'm like, it was she was like 12?
Wow,
Yeah,
12 years
like
old.
12 years old. And
Mm,
I'm like, but you can't sleep on these kids. You know
right,
what I'm saying? I
right.
said, all right, cool, let's do it because I was looking to put a new video out. And all the ideas that came from this child, we put it all together, we produced it together, put it together. And I think that thing went up to like 16, 17,000 views,
Wow.
like just in a matter of days, which is why I put her in at the end of, like she really did that video. You know what I'm saying? Like it's even the video with Stepping Stone. Her idea was, okay, you're gonna start off reading this magazine, you're gonna set the magazine on fire, which a lot of people don't understand. That was real fire. Okay. That was no that was no special effects or nothing. And I'm reading this magazine, flipping the pages while it's on fire. And in my head, I'm like, it's getting kind of toasty with this thing, you know what I'm saying? But that video did so well. And it's one of those things where God is like, I will make sure you are never lacking. He's always put somebody in my way to help me. Some
Yep.
like I said, like before 12, 13 at the time. No, yeah, 11, 12, something like that. Put this video together. And I was just like, wow, a kid, crazy. It's how God works.
From the mouth of babes, man.
Yeah. Amen.
Yeah. I
That's
mean,
right.
that is awesome. That's an awesome story. And just let this story be an inspiration to everybody else who's thinking that, what you're doing, it doesn't matter, or you can't make it. You can't get to where you want to be. This man is a success story. This man has been touched by God and anointed by God to do what he does.
Yes.
So let his story be an inspiration to all of you who are trying to get to the same thing, and not necessarily as far as, rapping goes, but in anything that you're trying to do
Yeah.
in your life. Everybody has a journey, and we've all got different paths to take, but at the end, God has to be the guide.
Yes, he does.
Yep.
He has to be because he can take it all away from you.
Yep.
And if God is giving you a gift, use it. Because if you don't use it, he'll take it away.
Exactly.
Probably give it to somebody else.
Somebody else. Yeah, exactly.
Which is why I love what I do for the Lord. And whenever I hear somebody come to me and they tell me how they enjoy the song, or they love this song, or love that song, or they seen this video or that video, it's a blessing to me because a lot of us think it goes on numbers.
Yeah.
And what I had to learn was to stop looking at numbers. Stop looking at the sales and the plays and all of that and look at the lives that are being touched through this whole thing.
Yep.
I remember there was somebody that hit me up. I guess they were going through a mental breakdown or something. And they told me that they heard a voice said play 1 Timothy 6:11 through 12. And this person said they played that and instantly started feeling better. That touched me so deeply. That was like, Lord, this is what you want me to do. You know, no, I got over that. Oh, I'm trying to be famous. I'm trying to be up here with this one, I'm up here with that one. I don't care no more.
Yep.
I let that. It's just like I like being the local dude that I am right now. You know, um, looking at some of the the numbers and places where the songs are played. The songs are being played in areas that they shouldn't be played. Iraq, Iran, all
Mhm.
these third world countries, and it's. I mean, wow, that's how God is. So you won't have to know who I am. You ain't got to see me on TV, but just know the work of the Lord is going through. and
Exactly.
and and I, and I love that each and every day. I could be dead. I should be dead, but the Lord has spared my life, and I can tell you now, like the I'm living my best life right now. A lot of times, I forget where it is in the Bible that will just I got to paraphrase where it say He'll give you back all the days that you lost. I don't remember where that was, but I'm getting time back that was lost, that was stolen from me. You know what I mean? No. Am I perfect? Mm-mm. Got to repent every day? Yes.
Yep.
But the goodness of the Lord, where He's just, I'm going to show you what I'm going to do for you. Even in my professional career, with my job, where He's like, I'm going to show you where I'm going to put you. And He put me in this position. I mean, like, whoa. He just put me in a position to meet two key people, vice presidents of this job that took to me like, oh yeah, hey, let's stay connected. Let's this, let's that. Like, oh, definitely. You know what I'm saying? Definitely. And for some people, it's like, even with the I'm having fun. Like even with Rashad, the toy collector, I'm having fun, man. I'm having fun with just showing people the toys I collect. I'm having fun with doing this podcast, just showing like where you come from. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Let God into your life. Let the Lord Jesus Christ into your life. If you don't believe, that's cool. You don't have to believe. That's fine. Because there are a lot of successful people that don't have God in their life. They have a God, but they don't have the God.
Mhm.
They are successful, but that success comes with consequences.
There you go.
I had a lot of consequences when I was riding that other success. There was a lot of money that was coming in for me, but it almost drove me to kill myself. That's
Yeah.
just that's just being real with it.
Yep.
Being 100, as they say.
Yeah. And I mean, you're right on all points, man. I
Yeah.
mean, you can't base your life on this money and cars and clothes and women, especially you men. That's not what it's all about. Because that stuff passes away,
Mhm.
and that's why every day you have to stick with the Lord. If you are a believer, you have to stick with the Lord because, like I said before, all that stuff passes away, but only God's word will stand
Will
at the end.
stand.
Yeah,
What you do for the Lord will stand.
that's it.
You know, and there's a lot of things that come our way that we think is coming from the Lord, and it's not.
Right.
Which is why when I got those record deals, I thought they were from the Lord, and they were not. Even though there are people like Dre and like other people that's like, I wouldn't do that. But it's like, nah, man, I'm gonna do this. You know what I'm saying? This is from God. No, it wasn't. It wasn't. Even when it got to the point where the Lord said, hey, all of that, the money that's owed to you, everything like that, you gotta let it go. And as a black man, that's hard to tell me to let some money go that's owed to
Exactly.
me.
Exactly.
I want to go tear up the whole place. But,
Yeah.
you know, he gave me back everything that I lost. And a lot of things I lost, I didn't need it anyway, you know. Because it was like it was just destructive. Like, look at some of the artists that you see get all this money. What happens to them? What happens?
Yep.
The story is all the same. They live in the high life. And they'll tell you they're not happy. They're not happy. It's just a lot of things going on. I know what that's like because I've been there. I know what it's like. There's an evil world over there, and a lot of y'all just don't know. A lot of you know hear people talk about it, and you can Google and things, but until you've been there, you will really never know what you're getting yourself into.
That's right.
Quick, fast money, I get it. Quick, fast death, yeah. Yes, sir.
Consequences.
Yes.
No. Man, what a story. And it's funny that you mentioned, the numbers and everything,
Mm.
especially like with this podcast, like we said in the beginning. Ain't really all about numbers with us. It's just touching lives one by one.
Yes.
So if we're not getting like the thousands of views, we're getting a couple of views, we are reaching people. And that's what this thing is all about. We're not about the fame. We're not about trying to get all the likes and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
We are in the business of touching and affecting lives in a positive manner. And if we have done that for you, then our job has been done.
That's right.
And speaking of music,
Yes.
there it is. For those of you that don't know, our theme song is from the song All That I Know.
Produced by Daniel Dagnott.
Shout out to him. From the album 1 Timothy 6, 11, and 12. It's the only theme song that was appropriate for this show.
That's right.
Thank you so much for tuning in for this episode. We had so much fun. It was good to get to know the deeper M.O.G. For social media, you can get with us. I am at Dre _ all day Murvin on Instagram, Dre all day Murvin on Facebook, and you can hit M.O.G at
www.mogmervinmusic.com, which is my website. Instagram, M.O.G Murvin on Instagram. And you can follow me on Facebook, also M.O.G Murvin. YouTube, M.O.G Murvin. Yes, sir.
You can also follow us collectively on IG at the Murvin Brothers. And of course, as you can see at the bottom of the screen, in addition to listening to us, or in addition to watching us on YouTube, you can also hit us up podcast, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, basically wherever you get your podcast. Again, thank you so much for vibing with us, and we will see you next time. Peace.